Hello and welcome to Staying Relevant with the MasterNi. I am Meenal Desai, the MasterNi, and I share a medley of my unique experiences shaped by students, teachers, parents, and life in general. And in this season, I am going to share about my experiences that help me stay relevant in these unprecedented times. And in this episode, we are going to talk about a documentary on Netflix that came about a few months ago, but is something that each one of us, especially the parent and the teacher in us, must watch. It is called The Social Dilemma. It released on Netflix and sent quite a few waves across the globe. The documentary is essentially a docudrama. It talks about how social media plays a certain role in our lives and how it has almost overtaken the lives of our teenagers. It features a lot of eminent technologists, one of them, Tristan Harris, somebody who has worked with Google and somebody who understands the impact that this technology has on our lives. One of the most catchy statements that I heard that made me watch the whole show in one go was that never ever in the history of the world had 50 designers had the chance to influence the behavior of 2 billion people. Come to think of it, the designers of these apps and products that we use, they decide how much of our attention we give to them. Right now, even as I talk to you, I'm essentially banking on their algorithms to make sure that you hear me. I'm hoping that my voice reaches you through these things. That said, the docudrama is a wonderful watch if you have teenagers, and do watch it with them. A couple of interesting strands that it pulls out are the idea of our attention that these technology companies hold. Not to say that they are all bad. Honestly, there is so much good that has happened in the world because of the tech, because of the availability of information, because of the knowledge that has spread all around. But like all other technology in the world, it has its own flip side. There have been governments that have been toppled. There is an epidemic of mental health. There have been institutions that have been razed down. There has been culture that has been demolished precisely because of this tech. However, what I want to talk about today, and something that is very relevant for us, is how our kids use it. And this is where the docudrama plays a very nice role. Through its storytelling, it not just has people interview about their experiences in tech, real life, real engineers who have designed these things, like the Facebook like button and all of that, but there is also a small little story interwoven where a teenager who is hooked to the net just cannot let go of it and how he lands in trouble. Honestly, for our children, it is so very addictive, they just cannot put the phone down. And it is not their fault. It is something that the smartest people on the planet have made sure of. And many of us at times tend to believe, oh, this is free, Netflix is free for this weekend, this is free, that is free, etc., etc. But honestly, there is nothing that is free. When something is free, you are the product. You and your time is the product. This and many other things are spoken about in the docudrama. Another very important strand that I pulled out from that was the idea of mental health and the need for acceptance. Honestly, mental health is something that we in India overlook extremely. It is impossible to believe how our children and young adults are dependent on approval from these apps. There is something called Snapchat dysmorphia. Had you heard of it? I hadn't. Yes, there are teenagers and young adults, girls especially, who want to get plastic surgery done in a manner that would make them look like the filters on Snapchat. Can you believe that? That is what our young population wants to get into. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. The apps make sure that our attention stays on them. They keep proposing one video after the another. However, that is not the only problem. The problem also is that it cuts us off from our actual real relationships. When we are constantly on our phone, we miss out on what our children are doing. Our children miss out on what their parents are saying. And it takes us away and farther into the phones and away from our real world. What that leads to is this whole idea of feeling lonely, of feeling not liked, of feeling left out. And over a period of time, this leads to all kinds of mental disorders. You're constantly waiting for someone's approval. You're worried about how many likes your post has got versus how many likes your friend's post has got. This is an unending cycle. When the like button was invented by Facebook, they had hoped to spread positivity. They believed that this would help people gain attention. Nobody ever realized that this would lead to extreme mental health problems. But as I mentioned before, that is technology for us. Other than this, the docudrama also talks about how political events are influenced by the narrative on these apps. The recent attack on US Capitol was a glaring example of that. So far, when all of this was happening around the democracies in the world, we were putting a blind eye to it. We believe that this happens in new age democracies. But the attack in early January proved that this happens in the most stable democracies as well. In India, we worry about our EVMs being hacked, and there is a lot of discussion about how whether EVMs are authentic or not. But honestly, the way we are moving forward, it is us humans, our minds and our thoughts that are being hacked. EVMs don't need to be hacked after that, do they? So, that is me, the MasterNi, urging all of you to take 1.5 hours off and watch The Social Dilemma. It will not just give you a different perspective on what you are doing when you are on the phone, but it will also help you understand your children a lot better. And while I know, even as I suggest this, you have probably consumed this idea through a social media app, and you will watch this on Netflix, which is another time consuming app. But that little awareness that will come out after that 1.5 hours will help all of us shape our lives better. That is me, MasterNi, talking about how I stay relevant. And I would love to know what you do to stay relevant and what is your dilemma in doing so. And don't forget to follow Musings of a MasterNi on Instagram and YouTube. That's it from my end. Thank you so much.